Okay, so I think I will start. I don't know if you're with me or not yet. I would like to really thank the organization for putting me just after Lisa Atkins on the stage, for asking me to doing this talk in English. So that really made me super uncomfortable. Thank you, Vanessa and Silvia. Big hand for them. Thank you. So, thank you very much. I'm here to talk about lean product management. I'm Gabriel Prat, Mas Ramon, something like that. You can call me Gabri if you don't want me to feel like my mother is like yelling at me. So it's been years since I've been telling people to burn their roadmaps. I keep repeating it once and again, that they should burn it, they should get rid of them, that they are evil. And most of the time I get two questions. One of them is, okay, so what? I burned the roadmap and then what? I burned the backlog and then what? What should I do? The other question I most of the time have is, how do you manage to convince investors? How do you manage to convince your bosses, whoever is making the decisions in the company? So now I will try to answer those questions, not with a recipe that works for everyone, not with something that is the truth carved on stone, but with something that I've tried and something that has worked for me in my experience. So it all started at InfoJobs. I was working there as part of the product development team, and we had the typical discussion. Product management or bosses were saying developers are lazy, everything is slow, every project is delayed, this is a disaster. And developers were saying, product management doesn't know what they are doing. We are doing random projects, this is nonsense. We are inventing the things we are doing. And by the end of the day, it was super hard to say if the things that we were doing were having an impact or not in the bottom line of the company. And this is like extremely connected to what Lisa Atkins was saying before, that we shouldn't be doing people-driven agile or all of the different levels that she was talking, but impact-driven agile. We should be super worried about if what we are doing is really having an impact on the company or not, if we are really delivering value to our customers or not. So now, after a couple of years of consulting in my own company, Hoshin Plan, which is a tool focused on helping you define objectives, indicators, so something like OKRs, objectives and key results, Japanese version of it, Hoshin Kanri from the 70s. I've been consulting in a couple of companies, and now I'm working at Doc Planner almost full-time, which is incredibly complex company from my perspective. We are now 800 employees. We used to be 30 3 years ago. So the pace there is amazing. How fast we are trying to run is really astonishing. We are divided in 6 countries. We have 1 million bookings done every month. So we are a website to put in contact patients and doctors. So it's a website for you to find the best doctor. More specifically talking about the product development and tech organization, we are around 100 people divided into 2 different offices. And we are heavily inspired by this Spotify engineering slides that were there back in 2014. So we try to have super small teams that can be fed with 1 pizza, with business goals, with lots of autonomy. We try not to tell them what to do, but to give them the tools to invent what they are doing. As I said, two different offices, 2 different technologies, and most importantly, 6 different countries where we try to be leaders on, with 6 different country managers, with 6 different ideas of what should be the priorities. Super strong people, everyone having their ideas thrown at the product team. So with this environment, super complex environment, the question is, how do we prioritize? How do we select the things that we are working on with so many inputs and giving a lot of autonomy to the teams? We tried a couple of things. this is the obvious one. So let's do whatever the boss says. He must be right. He founded the company, so why not? He's the smart guy, right? So this was the first one. We also tried this one. Of course, among all the country managers, there's always some of them that yell more than the others. And we as product people, we want to be calm and quiet and sleep at night. So let's do whatever the shouting guy asks. So loudest voice dominates the roadmap. This is sometimes the case in some companies. Of course, not your companies, because, right? Okay. Some laughter, okay. So question is, does it ring a bell? Has someone ever experienced this kind of prioritization? Anyone in the room? Okay, some of you. Okay, so I'm not alone. Now I feel better. So I really believe there must be a better way of prioritizing, a way that didn't create that much conflict, that was not that random or arbitrary, and that didn't end up with the poor product owners or product managers drowned in lots of to-dos, super heavy list of things, and by the end of the day, delivering no value to the customers or super scattered value to the customers because we are just jumping around. So, okay, how to prioritize and not die in the attempt? I was really inspired by this talk from Simon Sinek that it's called Start with the Why. So I truly believe that if you want to give autonomy to people, if you want to let them choose what they are working on, they need to understand what they are doing. We come from a time when we were given the task, where we were told what to do. And this really works if you have a brilliant guy at the top, like you are Steve Jobs. You tell everyone what they have to do, and then probably everything is magical. Since I'm really not Steve Jobs, I'm not even close to being one. My ideas are most of the time wrong, and so I needed to find a better way to do it. I needed to leverage the neurons that all of the people had in my team and in my company. So first step I would advise you to do is make everyone understand why they are there. And this can mean why the company exists, and I have our example here. We are here to make the healthcare experience more human, to remove the hassle when you're searching for a doctor, booking a visit with a doctor. So everyone should understand that we are here for this, but it goes beyond that. If you want to create small teams and give autonomy, they also need to understand why they are there. And then you can create missions for them. So we can imagine that at Dr. Alia we have a team that is focused on helping patients find the best doctor and book a visit anywhere, anytime. So mobile, website, whatever. And this is their mission. They should be obsessed about that. And then, sure, projects will come, ideas will come, we will do things. But the first thing is understand why they are doing this. What are we trying to accomplish? And as Lisa said, the only measure of success is the value that we are delivering to the customers. In this case, giving the best doctors to patients. Or we could have another team that it's not really focused on patients, but it's really focused on doctors. And what this team could do is try to make the doctors' lives easier. Try to let them focus on what matters for them. So they don't want to be answering calls. They don't want to be doing paperwork. They don't want to be, rescheduling bookings. They want to be treating patients. They want to be helping people. So we should do the rest. We should remove the hassle for them. So this is the why. Everyone should start having a clear mission in mind. Then the next step is how will we know if we are going in the right direction or not? So another inspiring TED Talk by John Doerr, the guy that introduced OKRs at Google. OKRs are objectives and key results. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's basically defining what is your objective, so what are you trying to accomplish, and then how are you going to measure it. And so the key results are the measure of success for these OKRs. And I don't want to fall into the trap of processes and tools. I was really inspired by Lisa's talk before. So the most important part about OKRs, it's not the process, it's not how we measure, it's not the specific objectives we define is the conversations that we have. So this process, for instance, in our company, starts every quarter with conversations between the teams that propose their own OKR, so they know the mission. I have to help doctors, remove the hassle from them, and then they propose, okay, so I believe that the best way of doing this is doing this, this, this. And I will know that I'm succeeding because I will measure these other things. And then we have a conversation. In our case, since we are distributed in 6 countries, it's online conversation mainly. But this is the key part. This is where everyone aligns. And this lets the team focus on whatever they wanted, but everyone understanding why they chose to focus on that. So they have to pick like a North Star goal, some metric that they are obsessed and they want to improve. We can have some examples of that. So Starbucks decided to be obsessed about people spending time in their coffee shops. They saw that people that spend more time in the coffee shop had longer lifetime value, so they got more benefits from them. So they started to be obsessed about that, and they started to put some nice couches there. They started to give away free Wi-Fi for you to be able to work there. Not because they are super nice people, but because they saw that they were getting more profit out of it. And this is obviously the final goal in the companies. Or Facebook. North metric for Facebook could be active users, number of users that go there every day, because they are revenue in Facebook is they get the revenue by ads in Facebook. So the more content you read, the more ads you consume, the more money they make. So they are obsessed about that. Or Booking.com, super similar to our case. We want to be the booking for finding a doctor, so they are obsessed about how many bookings to hotels they have. So for my example team, we could pick this one, number of bookings. Let's measure how many bookings do we provide, do we make every day. And then what's next? So we have our goal. We know that we have to maximize the bookings. So this is where the fun starts, actually. We have to have the list of ideas. And we will always have the CEO. We will always have the country managers giving ideas. This is unstoppable. But then the question is what we do with these ideas. You can pick actually whatever system to rank these ideas you want. And I think after my talk in this same product track, there is a talk by Tony who will talk about like 4 or 5 or 10 different other ways of scoring your ideas. We decided to pick this one. It's called ICE, and it has 3 different dimensions. First one is impact, and remember that I said that we should be obsessed about that. This is our true measure of success. I'm really shocked when I go to some organization and I ask, okay, so you are having an agile transformation. What is your measure of success? And sometimes they say, number of teams that are running agile. Brilliant measure. So why should we care about how many teams do agile if they are having no impact? So first thing we should assess for every idea we have is how much impact it will have to the KPIs. I will go one by one, but briefly to introduce the 3 of them. Next one is how much we trust in this idea, how much evidence do we have that this is true? And the last one is how much will it cost to implement? So I already talked about impact. If we want to, for instance, in my example of the team focusing on the number of bookings, if we want to double the number of bookings next year, it means we have to have 1 extra million bookings in a year. So for every idea that we have, we should assess how much will it contribute to this million bookings. If we have an idea that it's a brilliant idea, because it's super easy to kill bad ideas, but most often in companies, people have good ideas. People have ideas that are reasonable. We don't work with stupid people, so the ideas are normally good. The question is, are these ideas good enough? If we want to get 1 extra million bookings, and we have one idea that delivers 10, should we do it? It's a good idea. I mean, it's 10 new bookings. Why shouldn't we? The problem is we will never get to 1 million in 10 by 10 steps. So we should assess this idea, how many bookings will it provide? And how do we know? How do we know how many bookings? We actually don't know. And this is the beauty of the next dimension, is the confidence. So most often when we have an idea, it's at this stage, internal idea. So we have no idea, we have no clue if this idea will bring the impact that we are expecting or not. But the good thing is, again, the conversations, the interactions with people. So we write down what is our rationale. So we believe this idea will bring 100,000 new bookings because, and then the explanation. Do we have some evidence? So at the very start, probably not. So the confidence is 1. What should we do next is try to grow this confidence, try to make it more solid, try to make the hypothesis more solid. And maybe what we can do is look at the competition. Maybe they have the same feature that we are developing. Is this a guarantee that this is a good idea? Not at all. Nobody guarantees that the competition is smart. So it's something, it's better than nothing, but it's not enough. Market studies, or maybe some sales guys say, oh, I have this huge amount of clients that are asking for it. Okay, sounds good. It sounds like something more than nothing, but how much is it, that huge amount? Sometimes it's just one that yells a lot, the loudest client, so to say. So, okay, we are at level 2. If we keep growing, we can do some qualitative studies, we can do some interviews, we can meet some customers, try to get insights. Okay, so what is stopping you from making a booking? And maybe, oh, I want to make a booking for my son, and it's impossible in your website. Oh, nice insight. So then the next step is, how many people do have this same problem? Is this big enough? Will this have enough impact? And then we can do some smoke tests, some fake landing pages to see if people are really interested in this or not. We can run some user tests. We can do usage analysis of current products that we have. And then we have some pretty strong evidence if we are at that point. If we do some A/B tests and we see that this is significant, then we are pretty confident that the impact that we were planning is actually the impact that will be real when we implement. But in the end, the only measure of success is actually building the product or building the feature that we were creating in our minds and measuring. And this is something really not that common, at least in the organizations that I visited. I don't know what happens in yours, but most of the time I see organizations focused on delivering features, and we're actually too busy to understand if what we delivered was good or not, because we have to deliver another feature, which to my understanding, it's a super huge mistake, because then we are learning nothing. There is no guarantee that the next feature that we are working on is better than the one that we just delivered. So please don't forget about the last reality check. Remember that we are trying to create some impact and not just delivering features or being happy working together with Agile. Last one is effort, and I have probably slightly different understanding of that dimension from some papers I read, because some people say that we should estimate how much will it take us to implement the whole idea here, to prioritize. But this, I tried, and for me it had the problem that we were always focused on super small ideas, because since effort will contribute in a negative way to the ranking factor, then big ideas are always ranked lower than small ideas. So what we are doing here is not estimating how much will it cost for us to implement the idea, but how much will it cost for us to make the smallest possible experiment to grow the confidence. So if we are here, we have an idea that we could build a site to book visits for young childs, because we believe that there are a lot of mothers trying to book a visit for their children. What should we do? Should we build it? So no, first step is to just research, see if this is a real problem. So the estimation of the effort could be just one day. We just have to get out of the office, meet some mothers, ask them how they book visits for their children, and then we will be sure, or a little bit more sure, that this idea actually is an idea worth pursuing. So the effort actually is quite low at this stage. Then the confidence will grow. This will shuffle the ideas again. And at some point, probably there will come the moment to implement this idea. And then the effort will be probably quite high. But then we will be super sure that this will work. So we are trying to minimize the effort that we do that is useless with this system. So what we do next is rank our ideas based on those three factors. And here one of our product owners got so hyped with this idea that created a product to do it, and he actually launched it yesterday. So please be nice with him if you try it. It's just yesterday's launch. This is the product that we are using internally, and it's just ranking of the ideas. You can put there what's your rationale. You can put the impact, the confidence, the effort, and the ideas get ranked. And again, important here is the conversations that you have. The important part is understanding the small letters here, why we think this is a good idea and what happens. So by the end, when we do this, we end up with a ranking of ideas, and the next step should be to go one by one, try to validate them, try to implement them, and then by the end of the day have some impact. Funny story, I ended my talk with one of my product owners at .planner, and I explained the whole story and why this was great and why burning the roadmaps was great, and her answer was exactly that one. So I thought, okay, so with all the effort, all these years, telling people to burn roadmaps, and I created another one. So I will try to defend it. Let's hope you agree with me. Why this is not a roadmap? So on one side, this is dynamic. So one idea might be ranked top of the list. Then the next thing we do is do some small experiment to validate if the impact that we were estimating is actually real or not. If we see that the impact is not real, then we lower the number of the impact and the idea gets demoted to the bottom of the list. So probably we're going to stop working on that. So from an external viewer, we will appear like crazy people not knowing what they are doing because we are constantly changing priorities. Oh, but product people, you always change your mind. Yes, we do. We change our minds a lot because one, we are wrong all the time. Two, the market changes a lot. So it's normal that we change our minds. And we are here to embrace change, right? Agile Manifesto. So it's dynamic, it's not committed, it's not something that we deliver to the investors and then we are accountable for delivering. It's our best idea of what is the next steps we should follow right now. Second difference is a list of hypotheses. It's not a list of projects. It's not that we know what we're going to build. We know that we should solve the problem of mothers trying to book a visit for their children. We don't know how. Maybe we have to build another site. Maybe we have to improve the current one. Maybe we have to do some small tweaks in the doctor's profile. We don't know. It's a list of hypotheses, not a list of projects. Of course, biggest difference for me, it's a ranking, not a date. So we are not tied to deliver the Mothers project in February 2023, because who the fuck knows what will happen in 2023? So most of the time we create roadmaps because we want certainty. Investors and ourselves want to sleep well at nights, knowing what's going to happen. Okay, life will be great because we will deliver this project and we will get 1 million euros. Yeah, perfect, amazing. It would be amazing if it was true, but it's not. Hard truth is we cannot predict the future. So let's stop fooling ourselves that we can do it and stop promising something that will not happen. The other thing is it should be short. It doesn't mean that every roadmap is long. It's just that my experience with roadmaps is probably worse than yours. But I've seen roadmaps like 5-year roadmaps. So imagine you're a person working in this company, you have this amazing idea, and you see the roadmap, and you see that your idea will get implemented in 5 years. Okay. And you will probably forget about it. You will probably not even talk about it because who cares? So you should keep your idea banks short. Maybe you need to have work for a couple of months, but not more. Anything else would be waste from my perspective, inventory waste. And last but not least, it's collaborative. So it's not something that the CEO creates. It's not something that the head of product creates. It's something that it's co-created with the whole company. So it's public. Everyone can post ideas. Everyone can comment on the ideas, challenge them. And the criteria for ranking is transparent. So everyone understands why we are not working on this. So when the CEO comes with this super nice idea, you can politely tell him, okay, your idea is great, this is brilliant, but you see, I have some other more promising ideas than yours, so unless you can prove that your idea is actually having more impact, we are not going to do it. And this most often works. So that's mainly it. This is prioritized. We now have the list. What's the next step? I'm not going to go super extensive here, but next step is about constantly testing the ideas. Another inspiration, Eric Ries says, we have to try to collect the maximum amount of validated learning from customers with the least effort. So this is the first definition of a minimum viable product that Eric Ries did back in 2009, I believe. It doesn't mean it has to be shitty. So some people misunderstand something that's built in a quick way with something that is actually crappy, but it's not. It can be amazing, but small. So the next thing that we do is we use this experiment template. This is from Ash Maurya at LeanStack, with the background, with our hypothesis, with the details of the experiment. So this is the build phase. And then after we run the experiment, we measure what happened there. We try not to forget about learnings, because imagine that we build this product I was talking about, and then we measure, and nobody uses it. What does it mean? This could mean that the hypothesis was false. This could mean that our implementation was not OK. This could mean a million things. So we have to have this conversation. And again, interactions, people and interactions, having a conversation, trying to understand what happened, what is our learning. And actually, we do this in kind of demos, agile reviews, broadcasted to the whole company. So everyone can attend. We present our results. We present our conclusions. We product people say, OK, we believe that this happened because of that. And then we have nice conversations with different people there. So to summarize, 3 steps if you want to really give autonomy to teams and make them super successful. First, start with the why. Tell them why they are here. Then give them some metric they should be obsessed about, something that they should try to maximize. With this, prioritize the ideas. Make sure that you're working always on the most impactful idea that you could be working on. And keep constantly testing, iterating on your ideas. Hopefully, with this, you'll be able to convince the investors board or the CEO that it's better not to have a roadmap, because you don't know what you don't know, but you do know that in a year, you will double the number of bookings. You don't know how. You don't know which products you will build, but you have a list of hypotheses with some rationale behind, and you have a process for choosing the best ones and making sure that if it was possible to get this million bookings, you will actually get it. So hopefully, as it was my case, they will buy this idea and you will be able to burn your roadmaps. So thank you. So we have, I tried to be quick for you to have some time to ask some questions if you want. If you don't want, then we can have coffee. I know, questions, coffee, hard decision. But if someone wants to ask some question, I'm here to help.
Hola. Una de las cosas está... el tema de la lista de posibilidades sobre las que trabajar. El tema de la lista de posibilidades sobre las que trabajar, que tienes ahí de la lista de ideas, entiendo que esto lo escogéis inicialmente en el trimestre y a partir de aquí las mejor ranking son las que trabajáis. Cuando tenéis alguna hipótesis que queréis recoger datos para ganar confianza, etc., esta que va evolucionando su ranking durante el trimestre y entonces esto puede variar muchísimo durante el trimestre cómo evoluciona. ¿Puedes dar 4 ejemplos por ahí?
Varía cada día. O sea, tú puedes tener una idea hoy, a mí me da igual si la idea es a principio de trimestre, a mitad o al final. Si tú tienes una idea hoy y hoy parece la más prometedora, pues será la primera que empecemos a validar y no pasa nada. O sea, otra vez, no es un commitment, no es que nosotros hemos prometido a nadie durante el trimestre vamos a trabajar en esto. Simplemente a principio de trimestre hay el proceso de alignment, de oye, pinta bien, estas son las cosas que tenéis en la cabeza. Pero luego por eso también vamos haciendo demos, explicando, pues mira, pensábamos que esto era muy guay y que sería lo más prometedor, pero no, al final no ha funcionado por esto y por esto, con lo cual lo siguiente que vamos a hacer es esto otro. Y ahí hay la discusión, ¿no? Y ahí quizá el autor de la primera idea puede defender y decir, pues habéis hecho mal el experimento, tenéis que iterar. Y quizá tiene razón. ¿Sí? ¿Contestado? Por ahí hay otra pregunta. Por aquí.
Hola, soy Fede. Te quería preguntar una cosa sobre lo del ICE. Porque también, ICE.
ICE, ok.
Porque es algo que he descubierto yo también en estos últimos días. El effort. A mí, en particular, en mi situación personal, me cuesta muchísimo tiempo proveer todos estos effort estimation. Entonces te quería preguntar si podría ser una idea de primero pedir el impact por los stakeholders, los CEO, los country managers o quien sea, y basándose ya en un impact preestablecido, ahí ponerte a estimar el effort, pero solo de las cosas que son más apetecibles. Si esto para ti es el camino correcto o si... Porque mi duda es, a lo mejor haciendo así me pierdo alguna buena oportunidad.
No lo sé, porque no he estado en tu contexto. En mi caso, por ejemplo, intento no gastar mucho tiempo haciendo estimaciones, porque lo que intentamos con el ICE no es acertar. A mí no me interesa ser muy bueno prediciendo el esfuerzo. Lo que quiero es tener una idea, saber si esto parece algo que vamos a tardar meses o es algo que en un par de semanas está hecho o es algo que podemos hacer mañana. Entonces, la discusión sobre el esfuerzo suele durar minutos. Oye, ¿hacemos este test? Sí, esto lo podemos hacer en un día. Perfecto, esfuerzo 1, ya está. No se nos ocurre otra forma que construir un producto. Ostras, pues esto será esfuerzo 10, ¿sabes? Pero no... Creo que no hay que obsesionarse y, en el fondo, lo que hacemos no es clicar en la columna de ordenar y ciegamente empezar por la primera. Otra vez, la gracia de esto son las conversaciones y la gracia es como este planning poker de Agile, ¿no? Uno dice que esto es esfuerzo 10 y luego otro dice, no, esto hacemos 3 llamadas y lo tenemos. Ostras, pues es verdad, no me había dado cuenta. Entonces, eso es como lo hago yo, no sé si es aplicable a tu caso.
Me vale como respuesta, gracias.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Bueno, soy Nacho. En primer lugar, agradecerte tu tiempo y venir aquí para compartirlo con nosotros.
Un placer.
Y yo tenía una pregunta acerca del ranking de tus ideas. Te estás comentando que haces un ranking de ideas en base a impacto, a la confianza, el confidence que tienes y el esfuerzo, pero ¿cómo evalúas el peso que tiene cada una de ellas para tomar esa decisión? Y si, además de estos 3 valores, si te planteas que puede haber una situación en la cual haya un freeze en ese momento en tu compañía y estás priorizando en vez de por valor o por impacto, en este caso, por el riesgo que tenga esta nueva feature o desarrollo que vas a introducir en tu sistema.
En realidad yo creo que
será algo subjetivo.
Riesgo e impacto creo que son muy sinónimos. La respuesta, voy a intentar dar un ejemplo a ver si te sirve. Hace poco aprobaron una ley que obligaba a los médicos a enviar facturas electrónicas y dijimos, ostras, de cabeza a implementar esto, ¿no? Porque el riesgo de no tenerlo es que de repente los médicos se van a otro software que sí lo tenga, pero en realidad esto era el impacto sobre la métrica del equipo que intentaba tener a los médicos engaged con el producto, con lo cual creo que es traducible riesgo a impacto y puedes priorizar de forma similar. Y si no, insisto, tampoco os volváis locos ordenando una columna en un Excel porque no es la idea, ¿eh? Pero
Vale, gracias.
creo que no tenemos más tiempo. Si tenéis más preguntas, en privado luego. Encantado de responder a todo lo que queráis. Gracias.